This video, you are going to learn how to use Descript, how I use it for simple course creation, how I use it to edit client videos, some of the fast workflows in here, and some of the secret things that you probably didn't even know you could do in Descript. Also, just so you guys know, I do affiliate for Descript because it saves me so much time and money. It would make sense not to have Descript right now. It makes Captions easy. It's more accurate with Captions than CapCut, personal opinion. It's got B-roll you can add. You can source, make your studio audio in there. Just you can turn crap audio to good audio. You can screen record. Guys, save 20%. Check out my link in the description. Of course, you've probably heard about it by now, but why you want to get into it, why you want to use my code to save an additional 20%, it's got really good multicam editing. It's got really good B-roll. Just look at all these companies that use Descript. Not bad. I mean, let's talk about the creators that solely rely on this for the amount of hours that I save. I'm a busy creative marketing agency owner. I do run on course marketplaces as well as self-host my main course Income Accelerator. It saves me so much time, and it has made course creation, creating captions, adding B-roll super simple. Now, B-roll is just a term that means there are scenes you use. For example, if I am making a talking head video and the person's moving around or looking everywhere, what can we do? Using Descript, we can do the eye correction. But if their head is still moving, it's still going to look weird. Then we can use Descript again to add B-roll. Now, let's get into an editing project. All right, so I just created a course video where I'm training Photoshop, right? And in this, I want to show you how easy it is to, one, screen record, and two, edit that screen recording, and some really cool editing tips, tricks, and techniques that you didn't know existed. All right. Right when you first get into your project, what's going to happen is this is going to look like the original, okay? All right. When you first get your screen recorded video in Descript, it's going to look exactly like this, okay? Now, what you're going to want to do is you can go ahead and click this shape. I can do a circle. Look at that. I can do a portrait or back to landscape, okay? I personally like this portrait. I think it's a really nice, unique touch. Not too many people use it. I'm starting to see some creators use it. I'm going to add a border. I personally like about 15. I'm going to add a color. I like the yellow. Like if you look at that yellow on there, it looks so nice. And then let's just go 20 on the border. Okay, but if you notice the edges are still kind of hard. So I just rounded those edges by putting 20 on the rounded edges around the border. See, square, circle, and honestly, I can just drag this slider too. And if I wanted to, look at that. Look at that oval. That is nice. That is really smooth. And if I wanted to change the color on that as well, like I like the neon looking colors, the brighter colors. Next thing I would do, the number one thing, how I would do my workflow would be I would go edit for clarity, and I would just do the low to start. Okay, because you can always reprocess through Underlord again, and it always puts these funny jokes. Underlord is thinking, sorry, Underlord is imperfect. Okay, and then look at everything it just, like, and I can either accept that edit or deny that edit and leave it in my script. I think that I'm just going to duplicate this. Now, this is a training tutorial, and you're just going to want to check to make sure that you're not leaving stuff out. Wow, this is really good. Okay, so it looks like I'm just talking here, so I'll accept that edit. I'll accept, and if you want to accept all these and remove the ignored text from the script, you can literally just click that button. Now it's gone. Or you can come in here, click, and just start typing. And you can add scene right here if you would like to go ahead and add some B-roll. Just meaning like if your speaker's disengaged or nothing really too exciting is going on, you can throw a clip of a photo shoot going on or something right there. When normally they're like, let's say on camera, they're looking everywhere, but their audio is perfect. Next, I would move to studio sound. I'm just going to go ahead and, I would leave this at 100. And this is just the volume, the audio volume. Okay. So I'm in studio sound. Well, I was in studio sound. Okay. Underlord, studio sound, and okay. Audio 100. Okay, looks like I already, right down here, the studio sound, I'm going to turn that off and just play back the normal. Just really giving it that model-esque light. on your subject. Okay, great. Now I'm going to turn it on. Feels and kind of controlling the shadows and color. Wow, that is beautiful. I am, speaking of beautiful, I am really impressed with Descript's audio. That is phenomenal. And just the customization, you can move this guy around. You can make it bigger. I could double click it and open it back up to the original. If I wanted to make like a jump cut or like a cut where I was like on the screen, I could just double click this, bring this over the screen and add it to the section that I want and then export that. So it's got multicam editing. It's got visual effects and animations. You can just click and drag and drop, but removing filler words. This is great for sounding smarter, more concise, more just flows straight to the point. And I already clicked that, but normally this had about 89 that it removed, and it would just say remove and remove all. And then it gives you that checklist. You can either hit green for agree with it or X deny and leave it, right? So that is exactly what I would do so far. Now, shorten word gaps. Now, for a training video, I might have a word gap, but my word gap might include the silence where I'm showing somebody important on the screen. So I don't want to cut that out of the video. So for this, for when it comes to editing tutorials, I'm just really understanding my workflow and I'm being mindful about not cutting any of that out. Now, the next thing with eye contact is great if you don't have teleprompters, if you forget stuff. What you use this for is it just says no teleprompter, no problem. I literally ran into this when I was shooting like an almost $2 million mansion. I didn't have my teleprompter and the agent was like, crap, I prepared a script and you know, I can't remember it. And she had like memorized it. Anyways, the point is I didn't have a teleprompter with me. Okay. And so I said, no problem. I've used this before. The eye contact works phenomenal and it looks all natural. But the key to the best eye contact in Descript is to leave it to where you tell your subject to just stand in one spot. Yes, they can move their hands, but they're just going to want to try to go tunnel vision on the camera. And that will look normal on camera, and that will correct and keep the eyes perfect, okay? So what I had them do is I had them look at the camera, right? And then in their hands, they had their script because they didn't have a teleprompter. So they kept their heads straight and they looked down, okay? And it does not look like my subject was looking down at all in the real estate video. Okay, so it turned out phenomenal. Okay, green screen. It is just what it says. Okay, no green screen, no problem. Remove your background so you can replace it with something more professional and less awful. Okay, that is phenomenal. Especially if you go on and you search like photography backdrops or different backgrounds. And let's say you add a slight blur on it. And then you add that as your green screen in a room or something like that. It just looks great. Okay. Now, all right. Create highlight reels and create clips. Now, this will go to try to create takes that are more for reels and more for getting more views and going viral, and which is phenomenal. You can create your highlight reels. You can select how many you want. Because this is in one of my, let's see, this is a training for, I think one of my courses here. So I'm going to leave that off. I'm not going to create reels on that. But this is just, and it keeps going. You can write an outline, write a script. But let's continue to some of the more phenomenal stuff. All right. So now if I go to layer, all right, we were already in there, record and elements. Okay. In elements, we can add dynamic text. We can give it like a waveform. We can add these lines that move to your audio. Like, how cool is that? We can change with, let's see. Okay, there's different effects. There's frames and overlays, which are really nice. And there's the camcorder frame, glowing frame, really cool stuff. But moving along, one of the more important things is the fact that I've used CapCut for so long and that Descript does such a better job at getting the captions correct. And as a matter of fact, when I have had captions that are incorrect, it's because the speaker didn't enunciate the word correctly, and it wasn't on Descript at that point. But you know how long as an editor, I'm a creative marketing agency owner, how much time I would have to spend going back into a project because either one of my editors or me has missed something that I would previously use on a CapCut program, and you know, halfway through on this professional commercial, I have warehouse spelled like W-H-E-R-E, house, like warehouse, and that's incorrect, but it's funny. Anyways, let's go ahead and generate the captions really quick. I'm just going to click one of these styles that I like, and then I'm going to show you just some really cool things here. Now, what's buried is I do not like how, me personally, I do not like the lower caps, the lowercase. So for this, I'm going to click in here, and I'm going to go to style, and I'm going to come up to, you guys might have to give me a second on this one. This one's, right here. It's right under text. And I'm going to go ahead and click this right here in text. And here's a little secret sauce right here. Click that uppercase right there. Now, that's phenomenal. Now, what this is, it's bouncing text, right? Press. Let's go here. It's like that color is moving through the text, and just kind of do the same thing here. Now, if I want to change that color, it's right here. Okay, I could change it to blue. Check that out. Here's before. You know, anything you want. Like, it's all totally customizable, very easy to use. I could go like super light blue, just really put some damage on this thing. Just awesome. And here's after. And then to make it cooler, if I don't always want to have captions on screen, I can take this blade tool and I can apply random cuts. Now, here's a secret here to make this look really cool, to separate from captions and not captions, is to just kind of make these cuts, but try to stay on the lines right here. With the blade tool, you hit B on the keyboard, and I'm just going to make some over here. And then what happens is that gives your viewer like just a different like separation. You're not always running text on screen. You're giving them a break. You're giving yourself a break, whoever's watching it. And then I'm going to come back and press A on the keyboard. That's the hotkey for the selection tool. And I'm just going to go ahead and select these and just start deleting them randomly, right? This is a little big here yet. I'm going to hit B back on the keyboard, and I'm just going to delete some more sections here. Here we go. And that's going to give a lot of like breakup pattern, and it's going to look cooler this way. And that's just me personal. I've just been editing a while, so I know like that's one cool thing to do in Descript. All right, here we go. And then I'm just selecting, deleting, right? And just really just kind of just doing it how I want. And then that way it gives it some breakup pattern, you know? It doesn't always show the text on the screen here. You see that? These results, I get, you know? But look how much time I just saved on this one, right? So crazy, right? And next is, okay, we went into elements. This is the caption. And there's all sorts of really cool different styles. Now, I'm just going to kind of show you guys, for anybody thinking about actually purchasing Descript with my affiliate, where you can save 20%. But seriously, like, look at that. That has a waveform under there when it talks. How cool is that? Like, and then here's what's really cool. If I want to add simple B-roll, I place my marker where I want the B-roll to start. If I know it's about 5-10 seconds. And let's just say I'm doing photography. Let's see what comes up under video and photography. Okay. And then I could click show all. I could use GIFs, images. I could use video. Look at this. This looks really cool right here. Now, if I want to insert this, I can literally drag and drop right there, or I could click it and it'll just bring it into where that cursor is. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Okay, it put it at the beginning. Drag and drop was the better option. But either way, then I can right here, and if I want to set animations, if I just want to like fade it in and out, what's really cool, how to do transitions in Descript here. Let's see, I'm gonna here, and then I'm gonna right click it, and it's gonna give you layer order, replace media, change source, view media, split layer, include in script, add clip, add freeze frame. paste special, add scene layer, layer order. Okay. And those are just some options there. But let's see. I'm going to go look for my effects, and let's see, it should be right here under scene. And here's my effects and transitions. Okay, so the effects are going to be like a film grain, a zoom blur, and that's effects. But if I wanted to transition in to this piece, I make sure this is highlighted. I hit transition. I hit transition in. Let's just say we want to do a star wipe, okay? And now that's a transition in. I can set the duration right here. Also, I can come back, right? And I can go add another transition for out. And remember, we want to keep it consistent. So I would go star wipe again for out, make sure my time duration is set. And that's it on this piece. I'll show you what it looks like. And then you can adjust the size of the clip too. Good at what they do. They offer you a free. All right, let's see. Yeah. All right, here it is. All right, first beauty contestant pageant winner is Miss America's Teen 2020. I'm just going to turn the layer underneath off, and then I can set the duration to that clip too. But how nice was that? A retouch for me. I'm going to open the panel. Now, I've already been using it, but I'm going to make sure that cloud retouch is set. I'm just going to go over Star wipe transition. All right. Okay, smart transition. Okay, yep, that's right. Transition settings. Okay, that's why. Model posing. Okay. Now my layer's selected. Yeah, okay. Okay, and then to do the transition, I have to make sure my layer is selected. It's up here. You can go to layer or scene and find out what exactly it is, and you can click it. Okay, and once you have it clicked, now I can come under here to animation, hit the plus, and I can animate, blur, fade, spin, wipe, scale. Let's go with, let's see, let's go with the slide. Let's do the duration, 0.4 seconds. Easing, we can set to natural. Distance, 20%. Fade, sure. And then that just shows you right there what that looks like. If I then wanted to do that again, I would come back to animation. I would hit plus and I would go out. And let's just say if I want to see what the spin is for natural easing, loops 2 and fades out, we can preview that animation right here. Look at that. And if I made that longer, like this would be really long if I made it like 1 second, but retouch is set. How cool is that? All right. So the very last thing I want to show you guys is between, adding transitions in the B-roll and the videos and the photos. That is the same principle. That just does not change. Now, the very last thing, which is phenomenal, is to record into your script. All right. So I can hit this record, or I could go file, new, and then I would look for the record button when it's asking you to normally upload a video, right? And I would look for this little record button that's in that option stack. And then I can click record into script, because let's say I forgot something and I need to on the fly add something. I can record that into script, then I can layer stack it, set it at the beginning, at the end, over the top of something as B-roll if I want it, whatever. You need to make sure your audio is selected and then select your screen. So entire screen, window, or Chrome tab. Right. In my experience, I'm going to tell you, you do not want to use just one window. Okay. Because if you are, let's say, training, or you're just whatever you're doing and you want to show something that's a pop-up from something else, okay, it's not going to show on the video. Okay. So pro tip here is to pick a screen that you can just designate while you record. So pick a screen here. I'd use my right screen. I'm not going to record into here. Save 20% when you use my link in the description. I use Descript so much during the week that it's crazy not to use Descript. It speeds up your workflow for any content creator, creative marketing agency owner. I do videography, photography for ads, testimonial videos, you name it. We're running marketing campaigns and all sorts of stuff where Descript fills in the gaps. Also, for all my courses, guys, check out Descript. Leave a comment and let me know what you like about Descript, or if you're thinking about getting it. I personally swear by it.